Hello, hi, and welcome to another episode of Wellness in the Workplace. My name is Mbali Mziana, and I am your host. Wellness in the Workplace is a podcast that aims to equip new and experienced professionals with the tools and insights to navigate challenging workplace dynamics. And in today's episode, we are talking about navigating intergenerational workplace dynamics. And with me in studio, I have Angela Qithi, who is a technologist. She is a diversity, equity and inclusion leader for a leading technology company. Welcome to Wellness in the Workplace.
Thank you, Mbali, and hi, everybody. And what a great platform that you've got.
Thank you so much. Thank you for making the time to be here. I know that you're a busy woman. Always appreciate it when my guests are able to make time and to be here and to be present, essentially, for this conversation. So before getting into the actual topic today, I'd like for us to just get into a bit of your, career background and how you got into the diversity, equity, and inclusion space.
Sure.
Please tell us about that.
Great. So I'm quite old. I've been working for a very, very long time. My career actually started in recruitment. I started off working at a recruitment agency. At the time, diversity and inclusion wasn't really a topical it wasn't topical. And also being at a recruitment agency, for me, it was making money, placing people, not really realizing the impact and that I was making. Been in recruitment for many, many years, where I got into understanding that there is actually a field that is diversity and inclusion, transformation, depending on where you work. What it's called is in my role when I started to lead people, understanding that there's so many issues around building inclusive environments, and also understanding that it is something that is so important. I mean, if at a tech organization that I work for, the products and solutions that we develop, they are for different people. So therefore, they have to be developed by different diverse people. But that means that we need to then enable our environments to become inclusive so that those individuals can be their best and thrive. So in terms of answering you directly to say, when did I get into D&I? I've always been in D&I. I just never maybe knew it as an actual subject matter standalone. But D&I is in everything. It's in every role. It should be in every company.
Every
it is
industry.
Part of a DNA of an organization.
Okay. And more specifically in relation to today's topic, I mean, when we talk about an intergenerational workforce, I mean, we're talking about a workforce that has, 4 types of generations now, right? So baby boomers, Generation X, millennials, and most recently, Generation Z. Yes. So in your opinion, why is it important to have generations within an organization? How does it benefit organizations, really?
So imagine finishing varsity and walking into a company and you've got no one who's got institutional knowledge to actually pass it down, because there is a retirement age in I think it's every country actually in the world. There is a retirement age. So what would happen if there was just one generation at a time? So it's important for business continuity. But what's even more important about it, it's not about just having the different generations, all of the generations that exist. It's once again building the inclusive environment, the environment that is enabling to pass on, the knowledge and all of those things to the upcoming environments. So it's important because it's just nature. It's life. In every family, there's a grandma, there's a mom, or, parent, there are children, there are grandkids. It's continuation.
Okay. And just based on the different generations that I've highlighted, what would you say are some of the traits and characteristics of each of these generations, because I remember at some point there was just so many articles and coverage on millennials and just the trends around them, leaving the workplace because they job hop a lot, or they're not resilient enough. But based on the different environments that you've been in and based on your experience, what would you say are some of like the key traits that we see versus millennials, Generation Z, baby boomers, and maybe even Generation X?
Look, so I actually get asked that quite a lot.
Okay.
And I think the most important thing about diversity is getting to a place where we realize that every single person is different. So these generalizations, and everyone can just Google them and hear what is being said about Gen Z, what is said, I'm a millennial, what is said about me, what is said about baby boomers and the likes. We need to shy away from making those assumptions and those things that stick about a certain generation is like this. They don't like that. They don't like this. They like that. So I'm reluctant to talk about the myths that exist about each generation.
The stereotypes, essentially.
Yeah, stereotyping, because even I myself, as a millennial, look, maybe it's because I like being young. There are so many things that have been said about Gen Z that actually I'm like, well, actually, no, I also don't want to like go to the office all the time or like work doing that or that. I also want to be in touch with my purpose. But in the same breath, maybe we can talk about it in this way, that life is evolving. The world has evolved. So the younger people coming in are different. You and I are different to our parents. Our parents are different from our grandparents, etc. So there are maybe totally standoff differences, but they're not about the individuals within those generations, but it's more maybe about how life is evolving. How, it's globalization. There's so much in a country like ours. The background that we have, if we have to now talk or build strategies in an organization based on what we think baby boomers need, want, etc., we may even stagnate, coming from a country of apartheid, what they've been through. And now you want to come and build an organization you want to make the organization comfortable for everybody to thrive, but you want to have your organization be less built on stereotyping. Not sure
I get you. I get you. But do you think organizations are doing that? They are progressive enough to accommodate the level of diversity at a generational standpoint? Because I think at a racial standpoint, we're still seeing, less progression, especially when it comes to senior management or leadership. We're not seeing as much progress. So when it comes to then accommodating different generations and creating environments where everyone can actually thrive, whether it's generational level, at an racial level, or even at a gender level, do you think organizations are proactive about that?
So, look, ageism, actually about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had a global work call where we were discussing ageism, right, which is part of this topic that we're engaging in. And I could say it's quite a new topic within the space. There's had to be other areas like race, like gender.
Yes.
That had to be prioritized, which organizations will then be seen externally prioritizing that and really putting systems in place and structures. I mean, employee resource groups, affinity groups, which probably prioritize that different type of diversity, and not so much maybe
on the
ageism yet. However, these are the topics that in my organization, for sure, as I've just said, we're starting to really talk about it, and because we realize and understand that we need to grow younger people into these into these big roles. I myself, I'm 35.
You're
don't
not
have
old, by
many
the way.
Yeah,
You're not.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I realize that I haven't been impacted by ageism.
Yeah.
But through my journey at the different organizations where I've worked, I've had the privilege. I've been privileged to have people that are way older than me have an interest to really groom me and grow me. Hence, I have been able to accelerate in my career.
Yeah.
In the same breath, I myself, because I'm also quite a big believer of being an individual, go do stuff.
Yeah.
Go talk to people.
Yeah.
I've also taken a keen interest in teams that I've led where they were way younger people. I've led teams where there was Gen Z.
Yeah.
I had the interest to go understand what they go through, what do they want to see, etc., so that could help me develop my own team. So if I had to say, have the organizations prioritize the topic, I think it's quite new of a topic at the moment. But I, as a person, have reaped from the organizations I've worked at. I can't speak about the other organizations.
Fair
I
enough.
don't know
Fair enough. Yeah. And I mean, just going back to the newness of the topic, right? For anyone who's listening or watching and, they don't know or understand what ageism is, what would you describe it as?
So the concept ageism.
Yeah, the concept of ageism.
If I had to properly simplify it, I would say it is exclusivity based on how old someone is within the work organization, but not also maybe necessarily just from an age perspective. Ageism, because people have been there for long.
Yes, experience.
Yes, experience.
So it would be just discriminating against somebody based on how old they are and their level of experience, simplified.
So I think I don't want to say discrimination.
Okay, fair enough.
But it's exclusivity.
Okay.
Because it's not always, it depends from what topic and from what angle, because there is really room for experience. There is a place, there is something that experience does add.
Yeah.
So hence I'm saying that old people are important. The people that are about to retire are important because they've got so much knowledge
to
and
impart.
to impart.
Yeah,
yes, but the concept just is not necessarily always. It's not yet maybe top of mind.
Yeah.
As it should be.
Yeah. Okay. And just with, having a multi-generational workforce and, people coming with different worldviews and backgrounds, what are some of the challenges that you've, experienced or witnessed within a workplace that has so many generations present and just maybe the clashes around different styles of work or just how they approach work in general?
Yeah, so again, it goes back less to be specific about this generation, that generation, because like I said, I feel that maybe I can navigate across most.
Yeah.
But there's always challenges where there are just different people.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you and I are both black girls, black women, but
we're different.
Yeah.
So
the type of challenges then, if we make it particularly from generational, I'm going to speak from my own unconscious biases that I had to really be like, girl, please don't do that. Is things like, because I have always been one of the youngest people within maybe my leadership team or leadership teams. I know that there was a point in time where I had a bias against those that are older.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And
like
why
if
was
I'm-
that? Why was that?
Because, you build your biases are unconscious, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
because I've always felt, I don't want to say brunt, but
Yeah.
I've always been one of the youngest person, maybe in a manco or whatever it is, then I had the thing that I want to drive more young people. More young people must lead more.
Got you.
So what we do is that at times when I'm interviewing someone, then I would need to literally say, Angela, no, girl. Doesn't
Diversity.
matter if they like 40 something, okay? So those kind of challenges.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how did you become conscious of that? Because we call it an unconscious bias because you're not aware. So was it a case of somebody picking it up to say, I've seen a track record that the people you put forward are of this age, maybe potentially of this gender as well. How were you made aware that you have, I guess, an unconscious bias against people of a different generation?
So not only am I in the D&I space, but even academically, my master's currently, I had an actual module of diversity
And inclusion.
issues. I forgot what it's called, but it was diversity.
Yeah.
I read a lot about it, and I then introspect and call myself out, like,
Yes.
girl, are you doing that?
Yeah.
So it was from that. It was
Yeah.
from just always just thinking about it. I'm a big believer and activist of we gotta be inclusive.
Yeah.
We gotta give people opportunity, because when we have different people in our teams, in our companies, we are going to outperform others. I mean, there is data.
Yeah, that
out of
shows.
this.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
So that required me as well to be very continuously cautious about everything that I do. So it's an ever-learning process.
Yeah.
It's not just a put together pretty line, we diverse, our vision,
And
our
a nice
goals.
brochure or websites
have
with
an
different
event,
people.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's something that is
Yeah.
really real in me, and I always then have to be checking myself on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just unpacking the topic of unconscious bias, because we all have that.
Yeah.
How do you think, organizations can enforce, I guess, programs or initiatives that allow people to explore what their biases are, so that when we do enter a space of working together, we do it from a place of awareness, we do it from a place of being conscious, in the spirit of collaborating and working together as a team. Maybe from your experience and, the organizations you have worked for, what were some of the initiatives that just, drove I guess some level of self-awareness individually, all in the broader, I guess, theme of wanting people to collaborate and to work better together?
Yeah. So I think what organizations can do, or rather what I've seen works, is organizations need to really deep dive in terms of their vision.
Okay.
They need to know what their strategy is and how does that then influence inclusion, if it does. Because look, there's nothing worse than seeing a lot of say-do gaps when companies.
What's that? What's a say-do gap?
So what it is where when something is said, but it's actually not done. You and I just spoke about all these beautiful, pretty statements, or maybe even events and sponsorships, but employees aren't feeling it in the organization. That stems from when the executives of a company are sitting in their boardroom and they are talking about where this company is going, what it is that we stand for, not including the part of how do our employees then collaborate, is one of the things you've just said. And how do we build an environment which then enables, if they need different people and diversity, to be part of that main strategy, so that if that then is your overall corporate organizational strategy to be inclusive and build a collaborative environment, etc., in everything that you then do from there on. Your operational leaders, everybody going down
speaks to that
speaks
vision.
to that.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on young Black professionals who've maybe just entered the workplace or are still very new relatively to the world of work, who were brought up in very traditional households, who still carry the mindset that they have to respect their elders and then end up suppressing their thoughts, their opinions, their contributions in meetings because of those respectability politics? How can they, I guess, step out of that and just liberate themselves from that? Because the workplace is a completely different dynamic to the home life. Yeah.
That's a good question. So my thoughts on them, I'll park for now. My thoughts are on companies.
Okay.
We just spoke about how when you build your strategy, you include how, you're going to ensure that different people are here and they're doing the things. There's collaboration. So companies as well, when they do that, they then have leaders that will have that person who, is about to say dismantling.
Yes,
because that's how we grew, right? I mean, even now, I'm grown. Outside of work, the young children must call me Auntie Angela. Because it's quite respectful. So what I think about the Black professionals is that what amazing people you are.
Really?
Yes, you are. You've got respect. That is something we should be proud of. We need to be proud, guys, of who we are, where we come from, and all those things. Then there's work. Work we need to then take as a place of employment as work. A place where we still carry those same values of being respectful, but redefine respect. I mean, if your boss is happy with you calling them auntie mang, it's fine. Do it if they're happy with that. But don't let that then make you not be able to say, but boss, what you're saying here don't make sense. Because you are educated, you are specialized, a specialist in what you do. So you need to have your thoughts heard. And you need to, as an adult in general, as an adult in general, you are a decision maker. You're decisive. You make decisions every day about what you're going to eat, where you're going to live, how you spend your money, etc. So when you are hired in a job, your job spec, read it. Know what it says you need to do on the day. And when you need to oppose someone who is perhaps older or whatever the case is, take it back then to your job spec. You are doing your work. You would be very disrespectful to the CEO or the chairman or whoever of that organization if you are going against what they wrote your job is. So maybe if we can just look at it from that aspect of we will forever be respectful because young Black people, we're amazing. We know how to respect people. We are humble. We are all those beautiful things. And we don't want to lose that. You don't want to lose yourself in order to fit into a company. We can't.
I guess it's just a matter of redefining then what respect looks like in the corporate space, right? Okay. But in your experience as a D&I specialist and leader now, what have been some of your challenges specifically in recruiting, at a racial level, gender level, or generational level? Some of the challenges in terms of skill set, in terms of just availability of diversity of talent.
What a pet peeve question.
It's a pet peeve question.
Yes, for sure. So it's an absolute pet peeve of mine.
Okay, and why is
when
that?
When people associate diversity with lack. Incompetence. Can't do. We're dropping the ball. How do you mean? What do you mean? It's structural that there is a lack of many amazing different generations, different individuals
Yep.
that exist in the market because of structures.
It's definitely
Because
structural.
of how many people do we have in rural areas who can't even get to school? So it's structural that there's that. And not only from an age perspective or gender or race, but sexuality.
Yes.
Disability.
Socioeconomic status,
All type of different diverse groups.
Yeah.
There is a shortage of the individuals that have made it because of those structures. So I think that there isn't, we have to be very intentional about not associating diversity
With lack.
incompetence, no skill, whatever. No, we are few because we are few. I mean, I went to private schools, varsities, etc., because I was on scholarships and bursaries, but how many people? How
Had
many
that privilege.
other black girls? So it would be terrible for us to then say, well, look, there isn't any skilled black girls. It's not okay.
Yeah, it's just that there has not been the opportunities.
Yes,
right?
and hence the topic is important.
Hence the topic, exactly.
Yeah. And hence companies must also sponsor.
Yes, I was
That
about to
they must
ask.
put money towards this change because it's a change that requires investment. It's a change that requires intentionality.
Yeah, so I was about to ask, I mean, my next question was going to be that how do the people in positions of power and privilege change that? Because they're the ones that really have, I guess, the resources, right? And the power to be able to inform. So you've already mentioned, an aspects of sponsorship. Do you think things like mentorship, coaching, creating learnership, apprenticeship programs as well, do you think they're effective enough to be able to bridge that gap?
When done right. Again, we spoke about the beautiful things that companies will write, etc., but it's not really done. The issue comes when there are these structures to really fix issues, but it becomes tick box within organizations. But they are effective when done right.
Got you. And just maybe in closing of our topics, or topic rather, how can young people, specifically young black women, empower themselves to put themselves forward for managerial and leadership position in order to close that generational divide or generational gap? And I think you're the best person to ask this question because you are in a leadership position and you are quite young, and how you've managed to navigate just the world of corporate to be in the position that you're in, given maybe the disadvantage in inverted commas that may come with your age.
You go to therapy. Guys, go to therapy.
Okay.
You pray. If you're Christian, whatever spiritually fulfills you. You continue with that. You go to therapy to go learn about
yourself.
And understand your power. You, of course, speak to people yourself. You didn't know me, just saw me on LinkedIn. You thought you want to speak to me. There will be those that just ignore people. Whatever. But you put yourself out there. And to your earlier question where you spoke about what about the backgrounds where you taught to be, especially like women, as black women, you really are taught to really just like close yourself off and like just swallow yourself. Go to therapy. Get to understand the beast and the power that is you, because black women, we are dope.
So locate your power and then pretty much operate from a place of being self-aware, of being whole. Yes. Okay. And so what I do with my guests is that I usually ask them a couple of bonus questions just to close off the episode. So I'm going to ask you a few of those. The first one is, what podcast, video, book have you read or listened to that has shifted your perspective about work?
About work. So I'm going to answer with both a podcast and a book. The podcast, I can't actually remember the name of it. It's from this morning. It is done by two individuals from the UK. They actually work in our organization, but they're doing this on the side for themselves. It's about dyslexia.
Sure.
You know, so this individual is talking about their own experience, how they navigate being dyslexic in the workplace.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It shifted my perspective because I'm privileged. You know, there's so much that there are so many differences that people have within the workplace. So once again, as I'm thinking of the strategies that I put together, etc., those are the things that I also need to incorporate and consider. Yeah, if I hadn't listened to that this morning, I don't think that I would have been thinking
about
dyslexia. So that's the podcast. The book, it's quite an old book, but it really changed my perspective from a race perspective. It's by, why am I not remembering? It's we are who we need.
We are the ones we need.
We are the ones we need. By Sihle, yes. So
yeah,
lovely.
Yeah,
because we are.
We definitely are. Yeah. Okay. And what does wellness in the workplace look like for you?
Wellness in the workplace. Wellness in the workplace is work fitting into my time.
Sure. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's work not being my life. It's, you know, today it is my mom's birthday. I'm at work. I'm here right now. I'm doing this podcast. It's work hours. I took my mom for lunch. Work wellness is
owning your time.
Yeah. Work fitting into my time.
Okay. And then lastly, what are the 3 things you would tell your younger self about work and being a professional in corporate South Africa?
Go get it, girl. Just do.
Do.
Think, do. Do. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any closing remarks about our topic about diversity and inclusion?
I suppose I'd just say we need to be aware that when we talk about diversity, equity issues, and actual inclusion, we can't work on assumptions. We can't work on myths or what we think, etc., because then we are being exclusive within that. We are allowing our unconscious thoughts and knowledge based on whatever has shaped us to make us assume that we know others, which then we go back to being not transformed. So I think, that's about the topic. But about you, thank you so much for this. I think it's very important what you're doing. I hope this reaches more than just women. But, you know, if it's
that's the primary audience at this stage.
Very lovely platform. Please keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much, and thank you for being here. And thank you for sharing your insights. And thank you for watching and for listening to the podcast. Please do follow at Wellness in the Workplace _ on Instagram. You can also find us on YouTube. And if you want to listen to the podcast, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Anchor FM. I will see you on the next episode. My name is Mbali Mziane. Bye-bye.